Let's start with a thought, maybe something for you to consider right now.
Yeah.
What are the foundations you're actually building your life on? When difficulties crop up unexpectedly, what is it that truly holds you steady? What gives that unwavering support?
That's a really central question, isn't it? And it leads us straight into what we want to explore today, this whole idea of building our lives, consciously building them on a foundation of truth, specifically um, the truth many find in God's Word.
Right.
We're hoping to understand why, time and again, this particular foundation comes up as the source of, well, real stability and resilience when life gets challenging.
Exactly. And our sort of mission here is to unpack that. Why does God's word seem to be pointed to as this really solid base? We want to look at the principles, sure, but also see how it plays out, real people's lives.
And the message that keeps coming through is pretty clear. The most stable foundation available to us is God's Word. It offers this unwavering kind of stability, not just for the good times, but especially during the storms, the difficulties.
Which makes you think about other foundations people rely on.
It does, things like success at work or even relationships, seeking comfort. These are parts of life, of course, but they can be, well, inherently changeable. They shift. They aren't always stable ground.
Yeah, they can be quite temporary, can't they? So quickly things can change. And that brings us to this idea of what is true wisdom in this context. It's more than just listening, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. True wisdom. You see this reflected in teachings like the parable of the wise builder in Matthew's gospel. It's not passive. It's not just hearing it. It's fundamentally about doing it, putting those words into practice.
Action. It's the action.
Yes, it's that active choice to align your life with that truth.
Okay, let's get into that a bit more. What is it about God's word specifically that makes it such a recommended foundation? What sets it apart?
I think what really stands out is its described nature, enduring, constant. Unlike, say, worldly foundations, which, let's face it, can crumble or prove unreliable, God's truth is presented as something steady. The descriptions used are powerful. It doesn't shift. It doesn't crack. It's portrayed as this steady, sure, unshakable reality. An anchor, really, when we're facing hardship.
An anchor. That image really resonates, doesn't it? Suggests real security when things feel chaotic.
It does. It's a reference point that isn't dependent on our own feelings or, circumstances swirling around us.
And we actually have some really vivid examples of this principle in action. Let's talk about that couple in Turkey after the big earthquake back in 2025.
Yes, their story is quite something. I mean, they faced catastrophic loss, their home, all their belongings, materially just gone. But their words were, "We lost everything, but God's word held us together." That's profound.
It really is.
And what's maybe even more striking is how their faith, their reliance on that foundation actually inspired others. It led to weekly Bible groups starting up in their area.
Wow. So out of personal tragedy came community and strength built on that same foundation.
Exactly. A shared resilience rooted right there.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Then there's that other story, the student in Canada. A very different kind of storm, you could say.
Right. Not a natural disaster, but a personal crisis. This student was facing potentially expulsion from school because of their faith, a real crossroads.
A huge decision to make.
Definitely. And they described it as a choice between seeking approval, fitting in, and holding on to what they believed was truth. As they put it, I chose the word and God honored it.
And the outcome.
Well, instead of just, fading away, they started this digital devotional channel, and now it apparently reaches thousands of people every single week.
So choosing that foundation, even when it seemed costly, actually opened up a whole new path.
It really highlights how building on that truth, even against pressure, can lead to unexpected positive impact.
Okay, so putting this together, it sounds like it's not simply about getting through tough times. It's not just survival.
Precisely. That's a key distinction. A life built on this foundation of truth isn't just about, weathering the storms or enduring the winds of hardship or the rain of doubt, as the reflection sometimes put it.
Right.
It's about standing firm through it all. The idea is remaining steadfast, drawing strength from that core truth, not just barely making it.
Standing firm. I like that. And this really seems to circle back to where we started with wisdom. It's about application.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just know this stuff intellectually.
Exactly right. The kind of wisdom that provides this deep, lasting stability, it comes from actively applying these scriptural teachings day by day. It's about letting these principles actually shape how we decide things, how we interact with people, how we see the world.
Both in the small moments and the big crises.
Yes. That practical integration is where the foundation really proves its strength.
So as we kind of wrap up our thoughts here, The core takeaway seems pretty compelling. This idea that a life genuinely rooted in the truth of God's Word. It offers this profound resilience, a kind of unshakable stability, even when life inevitably throws challenges our way.
That sums it up well. And it brings us right back to that initial question, perhaps the most important one for you, the listener, to carry away today. What area of your life right now might need a stronger foundation? Where could building more intentionally on God's Word make a real difference?
That's definitely something to ponder, a question that encourages not just thinking, but maybe taking some practical steps.